No.
Being recorded.
Good. Somebody did it.
Well, it's 6 after. I know there's more people that have said they were going to come, but they're not here yet. Do we want to go ahead and kick it off? It is being recorded, so we can share it.
That's fine. It's your meeting, Lori, so you're in control.
We will go ahead and kick off the meeting. First of all, thank you for everybody for joining us tonight. I know it's Thanksgiving week and there's lots going on, so I really appreciate you taking the time to join in with us. And Max, appreciate you, and Howard, our district governor and our district governor-elect, joining in, and we'll look forward to hearing what y'all have to say for us. And we also have Tracy and Shirley joining, who will have a couple of things to say to us. So we'll just go ahead and kick it off. The things that I kind of wanted to bring out right now, we're pushing right straight through the holiday season. So now is a really good time to connect with your clubs with their holiday events. So if at all possible to attend your club's holiday events, that would be really great. Lots going on, and that's a fun way to connect as well. So I hope everybody will be able to make the holiday events that their clubs have going on. Of course, we're still pushing for the clubs to get all of their officers and directors, all those positions in the system for the new Rotary year. So we want to continue that push. And we also, it's time for another round of the surveys. I know Max wanted a quarterly survey from the presidents of each club. So we want to work on that. And Max, I did have a question for you about that. I know last time they went out, I think from John, but is this something that the presidents would send back to us as AGs, or should they be going?
They're not going to be automatically doing that. As the AGs make their quarterly visits, they should get updates. So, just look at the status. Has the projects mentioned been completed? Just to touch base with the presidents. But it's not something that the presidents are going to automatically do unless the AGs ask them to.
Right. And so it's something that we as AGs can do with them when we meet up with them. Just walk through it. And okay.
Yep.
Perfect. So we definitely need to push for that, since we're definitely strong in the second quarter now. So anyway, Max, I will go ahead and pass it off to you now for whatever you want to share with us, and what you're looking for at the moment.
There's two things that I'm looking for. The first is that contact your clubs. Make sure, I know people don't always read emails. That's why the verbal contact is so important. Reach out, talk to your club presidents. Make sure they know about the Christmas party in Plano on November the 9th. Encourage them to bring contributions to go. I have not yet reached out to the two not-for-profits that I'm most familiar with to ask them to be there. There will not be a program, but I want this to be a chance for everybody to mix and mingle, enjoy some barbecue, and get to know these organizations that do work in the human trafficking area, so that if you're still looking for an idea of what your club can do, they can help you with it. And also, instead of bringing a child's gift like so often happens at Christmas parties, I'm encouraging you to either bring supplies that can be used for the homes that women are taken into, the shelters, or the other option is bring your credit card. I'm going to ask the organizations to bring a square or a way of taking contributions. that can go to help the people that they are rescuing from human trafficking. Let me explain a little bit better. It's just not a handout to them. As I've learned in working with these organizations, one of the things they do is set criteria to be sure that these individuals learn how to be self-sufficient. And as they reach the various training goals that they're supposed to do to know how to take care of themselves, they're awarded with, for instance, a $25 gift certificate to a store like Target or TJ Maxx, nothing high end. And the reason for that is part of what they have to learn is to be self-sufficient, not dependent on another person, either for money or to make their own decisions. They have to start budgeting, figure out what all they need, from toiletries to clothing, make decisions on how to budget the money that they earn by going through the requirements that they have to in these transitional arrangements. So that's the plan for the Christmas party. The second thing that I wanted to talk about, and it's the reason why I wanted Shirley online, because January is in Human Trafficking Month. We've been asking each of the clubs to have some sort of service project during the year, hopefully in January. At first, we were saying January 15th, but I think it's hard for everybody to meet the same date just because of other things going on. But something in January 15th is also a roundtable date, so that complicates things too. But I'm going to turn it over to Shirley, but I'm asking her to gather information from each of the clubs as to what they're going to do. And you as AGs are kind of the link to the clubs that Shirley needs. So Shirley, I hope I haven't given away everything you were going to say, but let's turn it over to you.
Yeah, well, thank you. That's exactly what I need is to connect to each club who is interested in doing some projects, especially for short. I think we should have short-term and long-term projects. For short-term, just because of the months of the end slavery months in January, I think if we can all do something for our club, I am pushing to have a presenter coming to talk to us about a training program to end human trafficking. This is January 12th. That's what our club is going to do. And for long-term project, I was able to establish a committee to end human trafficking in my own club. And it is consisting of a few past presidents and also a county judge and the chief police of Plano in this committee. So for long term, we're thinking we have a list that we're still discussing what we're gonna do. And right now, one thing that I'm happy is we have gotten UNT, University of North Texas, engaged. So they're interested and they would want to have some projects with us. So that's in the works. So that's what our club is doing. And in Plano, we have 5 clubs. So we have a close relationship with them. So I think that would be the next step, is to involve them and then find out what they're doing. So, but then for other clubs, I really do not have a lot of connections. I need your help.
So what I think is going to work best is if Shirley gets together a questionnaire to go to the club presidents, and she'll work through Pam for that to happen. But when that goes to the club presidents, Shirley, we need to ask Pam to also send it to the AGs so that they see the same thing, and then they can do their own follow-up to be sure that you're getting the responses.
Okay. A questionnaire, do you want it to be a form-based, like from Google form, or
just
like
just 2 basic questions. Has your club planned a service project yet related to human trafficking? And then the second one is, if so, what is your project and when will it occur? And that way
I
we
don't,
start sharing this information with other clubs who don't have ideas yet.
I'm sorry. Is it my line or your line? I can't really hear you very well.
Um, I don't know. Is anybody else having trouble hearing me?
I can hear you fine.
Okay.
Loud
Shirley,
and clear.
try turning the volume up maybe on yours.
Maybe it's my internet. It's not that stable.
And you and I can talk more offline about
Right.
it,
Mhm.
because I think everybody else got the gist of what's going to be happening. Does anybody
Okay.
have any questions or want more information relating to that?
Shirley, if you would like to pop into my club's meeting, one of the meetings in December, and talk a little about it. I think it's, we're Suicide Prevention and Brain Health Rotary E-Club. And from what I understand, suicidal ideation is a problem with many who are involved in are victims of the human trafficking. So, if you would like to talk with us and maybe spark some ideas of how we as an e-club might have a project put together, then that would be great. We meet second and fourth Mondays, but not tonight.
Okay.
We decided because it's Thanksgiving week, we're not meeting tonight.
Okay. Great. Yeah. Thank you. I have your email, so we can talk. Thank you.
Okay, great.
Interesting. I can hear you with no problem at all. So, did you guys hear me
Yes.
before? Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay, anything else, Max, from you? Oh, you're muted.
That's all I have at this point.
Okay, great.
I do have one thing I like to share, because Max, you were talking about during the Christmas party that we should invite nonprofit, and I just received an email from Mosaic Family Services, and they are the ones that they actually have prepare shelters for these survivors. And they actually have, in the email, they're asking people to host a toy drive. In their email, they're saying, participate in our holiday toy drive right from your home. By purchasing
Shirley,
gifts.
is it possible that they do other things than the shelters for human trafficking survivors? Could that be why they're asking for a toy drive? I think our concentration will be more on the survivors.
That's what they do. We need your help to make this a very merry holiday season for our survivors.
Yes, that's exactly right. And so I'm trying to figure out what the tie-in is between the toys. I mean, yes, I recognize that some of these survivors may have kids, but are the toys going to survivors' kids, or why are they? We need to know more about what their plans are, I think, if we're going to invite them. There's two I'm familiar with. There's La Poema, and the other one, I'm drawing a blank on their name, but the Addison Breakfast Club is doing some work already with the other one. Mosaic, I have actually heard of before. I think they might have spoken at my club at one of the meetings I wasn't at. But yeah, I'm just curious as to what they're doing with the toys, if they're asking for toys too.
I just I forwarded the email to you.
Okay.
I forwarded the email.
Okay.
You can take a look. Thank you.
Okay, very good. And as I learn more about them, then we can share it, Lori, with the AGs.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Max. Thanks, Shirley. Tracy, I think you have something you want to share with us as well.
Yeah, a request, and I don't know if this may be able to be kind of combined with the survey that the AGs are doing, but again, this is around DEI. And we had sent out a blast to, I believe it was all the presidents and marketing directors to have a DEI representative. I only got one response back, but I did get one from Plano West nominating a person. But yeah, if we can have the AGs check with the other clubs as to who their representative may be, and that can be funneled back through me. We're continuing to kind of plan for DEI and how we promote DEI in our clubs, and looking perhaps to pull together kind of a little task force or ad hoc committee that maybe come from these folks that are kind of the DEI representatives for their individual clubs.
And I don't think I got that email.
It came out from Pam.
Okay.
It was like it was in October, like 28th or maybe the 30th, somewhere around that time. I know lots of emails come out, so right, things get lost. And as DG Max was saying, that's why we need a little bit of the human touch. Because folks don't always get those emails.
Any questions for Tracy?
Thanks, Lori.
Thanks for sharing. Howard, DGE Howard, please share with us.
I had a request. I was talking to Holly Hollenbeck about pets, and she in the process, I told her about this meeting. Max, this is your call. She would like to be invited to these. So if it's all right with you, Max, maybe
Again,
Lori could.
This is really Lori's meeting, and so it's up to Lori and so forth.
I'm happy to invite her, absolutely.
Yeah, she may have some membership information that would be beneficial to the
That's a great
AGs to
idea.
pass on.
Absolutely.
If we
And
do invite her, we probably want to have foundation and public image as well,
Yeah.
since those
Be a
are
good
all
idea.
three.
Be a
I
real
think
good
that's
idea.
great. Mhm.
Cool.
The other one, the other one that she was requesting is if you could send her any information anybody has on the clubs that have the biggest challenges on membership at the moment, that she might be able to contact and help.
I can tell you right now, Garland is one of them that I see as having the biggest problems.
Yes, yep, I agree. But there may be other clubs that would like some assistance on membership. I mean, yes, I'm biased because I was a membership chair once upon a time, and everybody and anybody can use a couple of extra tips on how to bring in new members, and more importantly, keep members. So, but Lori, if you could perhaps reach out to some of the other AGs that weren't here tonight, that would be maybe good information to be able to pass on to Holly.
Absolutely.
And well, I will repeat what Max had said: pray for Beverly Grogan.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Okay. Thank you, Howard. I appreciate that. Anybody here have any concerns, any questions, anything that you might want to ask about, talk about, share what's working, what's not? Anybody want to throw anything out there?
Lori, it's Dawn Gully.
Hey, Dawn.
I just want to let people know that the meeting location of the Grayson County Rotary Club in Sherman burned. They were meeting at Full Bellies, and it's a historic building in downtown square of Sherman. So it's very sad. That happened about 3 weeks ago. After Thanksgiving, they're going to plan, at least temporarily, to meet at the Grandees on Texoma Parkway. Once they definitively get that set, I'll let those interested know. But it really is sad for the restaurant owners and for that club right now. So
Was it a total loss? It is a It
Yes,
is a beautiful
yes,
building. Oh
it,
my.
yes.
That's too bad.
It had all kinds of antiques and just cool stuff everywhere.
It had a lot of character. So it was just a neat location for the Rotary to meet. So, yeah.
Well, that's sad. Okay, thanks for that update. Anyone else?
So our attendance is low, and we thought by not wrapping it with our roundtable that it might help our attendance and make it easy for people to not have to travel. For those of you that are AGs, any advice you have for us on how to get some of our others interacting more?
Max, I think we need to follow the philosophy of bring a friend to these. So it may be everybody calls 2 others and says, hey, we need you here at the next meeting. So
sounds good.
Lori, you probably won't have one until January, right?
Yeah, January, I think, is when we'll plan for the next one. And the question is, when is the best time to get the best turnout? So any input on that would be helpful, because we tried several different things and still we're pretty low attendance. So
Well, I don't know
January,
if
there's
this
much
would,
less going on in January, so we should be able to have a much better crowd.
Lori, I don't know if this would work because doing surveys sometimes doesn't get great response either, since you got to read the email first in order to see the survey and then take the survey. But maybe a survey, maybe a calling chain. You know, you call Mike, Mike calls 3 others, and Walt calls 3 others, and Velma calls 3 others, although she's busy getting ready to be president. But, you know, just, I don't know. You can try it, and if it works, great. And if it doesn't, try something else.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Lori, just
I
a
think-
couple of quick thoughts. Just you know, so one thing that helps me tremendously is a text message. And I'm not asking you to text me specifically, but maybe there's a way we can set up a group text.
Yeah.
Because I know these last couple of months, and I don't know if it's because suddenly people are vaccinated and they're out, but my goodness, I have been just overwhelmed these last 4 months, and I'm hoping that life will kind of normalize a bit as we go into the new year, but it very well could even get busier. But that would help. Also, if like when you sent out the invitation with the Outlook, the calendar, that was so helpful because it pinged me. I don't know how you set it up. It was beautiful. It was fantastic. It was awesome because it pinged me like 3 times throughout the day to remind me of the meeting. So that was awesome.
Well, that's thanks to Velma. Velma was setting that up on her calendar and set it up for everybody. So that's thanks to Velma. So
thank you. I need something like that.
Sounds like Velma has a new area of responsibility.
Oh, it was fantastic, y'all. I need someone like that to follow me around the day and say, don't forget to do that. Because by the end of the day, I look at my to-do list and go, oh my gosh, how am I'm
so sorry. That was just for me. I don't know how you all got on there. But everyone started saying they were coming, and I was like, oh my God, Lori gonna kill me.
Do it again, Velma. It was awesome. Thank you. It was awesome.
But you all are welcome. If I need to do it again, Lori, just let me know. But otherwise, I'm gonna try and get it right next time.
Well, Velma, I want to know how you did it. I've been asking about that, and apparently there is a service that you can buy that will let you send out mass text messages. But I haven't had time to explore that yet as to how much it costs.
I just clicked on Lori's email and created an event, and it just sent all of you all an invitation. a
You didn't have
reminder.
to do any effort whatsoever.
None whatsoever. It just went. I was like, oh my God. So, okay, I'm glad something good came out of it because
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I was texting people, oh, I made a mistake. So that was great. Thank you.
Well,
If you
thank
need
you.
any mistakes made, I will do it for you. It would be never a dull moment.
Well, that was perfect. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Jim, was your hand up?
Oh, yes.
Oh, no, ma'am, I was
emoticons and
clapping. I was
hands and-
clapping.
Oh,
for
it
her.
was a clapping.
Well, can I make my report for Cedar Hill?
Absolutely.
Oh, Cedar Hill is, oh, I told them they had to work with me because I did not know anything. And I tell you, they are the best group. They meet in person. They don't do Zoom. They don't do Facebook. They meet strictly in person on the second and fourth Monday. But I suggested to them that we do a tri-city collaboration because I did not really think that they would do it because, you know, Cedar Hill is, you know, they do the bike ride and that's it. But they took me on, and not only did they do the Tri-City, which is DeSoto, Cedar Hill, and Duncanville, but they also went to the Lions Club and the Kwanzaa. And what our project is, you may not know, but we have a Tri-City animal shelter here. And we just put on a surgical wing about 2 years ago. So we are now in the process of raising $50,000 to purchase an X-ray machine for the shelter. And Cedar Hill is the leading club on it. So we are enjoying that. And they also started a project with the coats. They have coats for the, what did I say, for the elementaries. They give out 400 plus new coats. And they are also putting this year together gift bags for their, what they said, 20 plastic makeup bags that they fill with feminine hygiene products for the High Point Baptist Church to be distributed to the High Point Elementary School. So they are really working this year, and they're, but the only thing is I have to be there. They say I have to be there every meeting, and I'm not knowing, does an AG need to be at every meeting, or is that too much? I'm not sure. You know, I enjoy it, but I don't want to be overwhelming or always having to sit there.
I would say that's your call. What I do ask of the AGs is to attend at least quarterly. So, but beyond that, Lori has served as AG for my club. I know that she often is there at least monthly. So the more interaction you have, the more, the closer the bond becomes between the two of you, and the more helpful that you can be. But that is, anything beyond quarterly, I would say, is your call.
Okay.
That's a positive thing that they want you there every meeting.
Yeah. And I had one person to attend round table, and they hadn't attended round table in a very long time.
That's really great.
And they
that
were
and the collaboration with the other two clubs in the area. That's really great stuff.
So we're getting there, and they are I think they're gonna be really good. I hate to leave them, but I must. But that was just my report for them, and
well, that's exciting news.
I'm excited about them.
Yeah,
I just love that.
Okay. Thanks for what you've done. And welcome, Charles. I see Charles Dowden has joined us, and Jim has joined us.
I work late tonight, so
one of those weeks, short week.
Oh,
for
that's
many others.
every day for me here lately. So
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
it is crazy.
So
Everybody-
Charles, maybe if we can just give you a quick recap of what we've talked about. We've asked the AGs to reach out to their clubs and be sure that they're aware of the Christmas party on December 9th. Encourage them to register for it. You can go to the webpage for that. The second thing is to remind them that they've all been asked to do some sort of service project related to ending human trafficking. And Shirley will be getting a questionnaire out or preparing and basically an analysis that has each of the clubs, what they plan on doing and what date they plan on doing it. And so she's going to be asking them all for input for that.
What's a timeline you got for the human trafficking? What's your window on that?
January, sometime in January would be preferable, but we will be happy with whatever the clubs can do.
Yeah, I've got 2 or 3 of mine are, I'm not going to say they're knuckleheads, but they're kind of knuckleheads. So, you reach out, you give them updates. Here's what's going on, what you need, anything you help with, silence. So anyway, we'll try.
So, and Lori, there was one other thing that you had a question, and I'm drawing a blank of what the third thing was that you asked.
Well, we want to get the quarterly results, quarterly feedback form from our club presidents. So that we can just take and sit down with them in a meeting, before a meeting or after, or whenever we can gather up with them and get their feedback on the quarterly, how they're progressing with their goals, projects, and all of that.
Yeah, the recap sheet that I did in some cases I filled it out, in other cases they had filled it out in advance, but just for everyone to get with their clubs as they do their quarterly visits and find out what the status is on their projects, make sure they're on task, and do they need any help organizational, are they having any issues in getting their projects underway?
Max, with regard to the questionnaire, when we asked about the timeline, are you thinking about short term only or both, short term and long term, or you're thinking about the starting date?
So I am primarily interested in what they're going to be doing in January. I think encouraging them to do something on a long-term basis and so forth is important too. At the same time, I will say Howard will probably have an area of interest as he takes over. And if you spread clubs too thin, each year you'd be adding a new project to them. So I recognize that they may not always do something on the long term. It would be wonderful if they do. And it's okay to encourage that when you reach out to them. But the main thing I'm interested in is what they're planning on doing this year.
Do we have any thoughts about what that might be?
So I tried to talk about it as I visited each club. One of the things that they can do is hold educational sessions for people who work in bars, grills, motels, in particular alone quarters, to help them recognize. And you can reach out to one of these not-for-profit, one of these end human trafficking not-for-profits to do the session for you. But to help them understand the signs and to know who to call if they think that they're witnessing anything like that. Another thing that they could do is gather supplies for some of the homes that the survivors are taken to help prepare them for regular society again. A third thing is maybe even hang flyers that they've gotten some guidance from one of the not-for-profits on exactly what to say, but hang those in restroom stalls. If you are aware of or think you are being trafficked, here's a number you can call. Those are some of the things that come to mind. right off the bat. And as I was explaining earlier, the La Puima in particular is always looking for $25 gift cards to use as the incentive to encourage these individuals to go through the process, the training process as survivors, so that they can be prepared to make their own decisions in life. And so they appreciate contributions as well. Some of the homes can use some maintenance work, but because of the nature of the business, anybody who volunteers for that has to go through a background check.
One of the things I'm seeing is a lot of the clubs are pretty busy. Most clubs have a lot of projects going they're doing.
They do.
It's like us. I know Park Cities. I know a lot. There's, the Preston Center, even they've got some, but it's everybody's busy with projects. So everybody's trying to follow the model if you do the projects. And so it's going to be interesting to see long-term how clubs can do to keep that up and maintain that. So,
right.
But
and it is Shaker
Working
Media's
well.
theme this year to empower the girl, and that is all part of empowering girls and in some cases boys too, who are brought into human trafficking, to help them to have a better life. But so that is the theme that our RI president has this year, and that's why I anticipate that not all clubs will be able to do something into the future. It would be wonderful if they could, because I think it's such an important project. But at the same time, I recognize that Jennifer Jones is going to have an area of interest next year that may be different. If it's not different, then that's a great opportunity to continue the project. So I'm sure in January, or is it February, Howard, at Assembly, you'll be learning more about her areas of interest.
January.
International
Assembly.
Yeah.
Max, can I ask you a question? Is there any district designated fund for projects ending human trafficking?
There is not. I'm not aware of any club that applied for a grant related to that. And my understanding is that we would have to get involved with a global grant and be doing something, either another country helping us with a project or us helping another country with a project relating to human trafficking, to use our global grants. And I'm not aware, I get requests all the time from other districts across the world who are wanting joint participation in global grants, but I have not seen one on human trafficking.
Okay, because I thought like 5870 probably is the Austin area, the district.
Yes.
They have allocated some money from the district, like 20K or something like that.
From the district or from DDF?
I thought the same thing. No, DDF is not the same thing from the district?
DDF is designated funds that are coming from Rotary International.
Okay.
Foundation.
Well, I don't know. I only know that number, that they designated this much to end human trafficking.
Yeah, because Beverly Lukey is the governor there, and together several of the governors across the state, we are having monthly meetings to talk about things that we can do to help with this project. For a lot of it has been educational, as far as identifying the problem, not as much as to specifics of what we can do. But yeah, I'll find out from Beverly if somehow they're able to use DDF funds.
Yeah.
I know they had that district had some reserves. I do know that.
I see. Yeah, because you need, when you want to start some good projects, you need to have funding. So it's nice to know that they have some funding allocated.
That is the
that.
district that we're participating with again in the Navajo project this year. But I'll have to ask Beverly what they're doing specifically with the $20,000.
Max, do you know if that project's going to continue next year?
It depends on if there's a sponsor for it next year. So Beverly Lukey took the lead in sponsoring, and then she reached out to several other districts to get matching funds so that she could come up with the full amount. So I believe the year that Beverly Grogan was involved in that, it was the Hollywood, California club that was leading it. So the answer is it all depends, but Dig Deep, which is the not-for-profit organization that actually installs the wells, appears to be a very viable entity. So I assume there will continue to be coordination, but who will be doing what? I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
I didn't know if Richardson was going to do it again or not. So
Richardson isn't really involved in it this year.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry, Shirley.
That's okay. I also recall they were talking about to have a Texas-wide kind of project they'd like to do, like a walk or something. I think that would be great. I just don't know the details yet. Yeah.
And I haven't seen that. The last meeting, well, I think I sent, no, that was a different group. I think that I sent you the invite to. But the last meeting I had a conflict with, and I have not seen the recap of the meeting yet. So, anything else that we can do to help with the AGs or communication that we need for the AGs and the clubs together? Howard?
Okay. And this is going to have to be through you, Lori, to a certain extent. But I've had 2 president-elect Zoom calls, and of course, 3/4 of the clubs don't look at their emails, and so we've had okay attendance, but it's been getting bigger. So the first one was like 8, and the next one was like 16. So if you keep going arithmetically, that would be great. But
when are you holding those, Howard? What day and time are you holding those?
The next one will be the 10th of December at 7:30, and I will get out some information to you. But
well, I'm just wondering if that time frame is working well with those PEs, then maybe that similar date and time may be a good time for us to consider an AG meeting in January.
That's a Friday evening, isn't it?
Excuse me, it's Tuesdays.
Oh,
it's not Mondays.
That's what I was thinking.
It's Tuesdays at 7:30. I'm thinking about the day.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's a Tuesday. It's, when did you say
it's
it is?
Tuesday.
The 14th?
7:30 on Tuesday the 10th, and there will be another one coming out.
That must be the 8th.
10th.
No,
No,
that
10th is a Friday.
7th. The 10th is a Friday. The 9th is our Christmas party. If it's Tuesday, that must be the 7th.
I'm sorry, it's the 14th. I guess it's what it is. Excuse me, my bad. Let me open a calendar. Yeah, it's the 14th is a Tuesday. So sorry about that. My bad. But I'll send you something on it, and then if you could distribute that out to the AGs, and I'll also get Pam to send it to them. But that so far the response has been pretty positive. That the attendees thought it was worth it, and the time and effort. And as we get closer to pets, there's probably going to be more interest. But because it is nigh upon us. You may think February is a long way away, but it's not. Right, Max?
Exactly. It's amazing how fast it goes. So, during some of the discussion, I looked at the link that Shirley sent to me, and basically what that organization is doing is they've acquired a wish list from those who are in the homes and so forth. So it's very specific what they want you to bring, not just a toy. There's a lot of painting kits, art kits, and things like that. So it's more than just a child, but it's the needs for the individuals who are survivors. And in some cases they have a child, but it's very specific things that they're looking for in that link.
Okay. For Charles, another couple of things that we talked about before he came on board is Tracy talked about the DEI initiatives and that we need a representative from each club, and so far his feedback has been one. So we can assist with that, with helping get a representative from each club to be.
I know, just trying to get somebody to be the what's the marketing, what was it?
PI person.
Yeah. That one, geez, was like pulling teeth. So, so we'll keep trying.
The next meeting we will have will be in January, and we'll try to figure out when's going to be the best time to get the most people on board for that. But we're also going to invite Holly, our membership chair, will invite PI chair and the foundation chair to join us as well, so that we can cover all those in that next next deal. And then we're also looking for clubs with the biggest membership challenges. Holly would like to support us in working with those clubs that are having those biggest membership challenges. So that's, I think that's about what we had covered before you joined in.
Thank you.
And the meeting is recorded too, if you want to go back and watch it.
Yeah, I'll get with Pam and see what she needs to do to make it available. I think this is one that probably doesn't need to be on the whole district webpage, but just a link sent to each of the AGs.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, anything else? Anybody have anything? Well, we're getting close to that 8 o'clock hour. And again, I really appreciate you taking the time to join us on a Monday evening during Thanksgiving week. And so thank you so much for your attendance. Thank you for all that you're doing with your clubs. And I hope you have a great Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Quest, thank you.
Thanksgiving.
And here.
Be safe.
Bye. Hey, oh, Tracy's running here. Okay.
Are we praying out? Oh, I'm done.